Hello, welcome to another episode of Kaiju Talks. This is Jared.
And this is Carter.
And today we'll be talking about the Transformers film series, mainly since the Beast War movies is coming out fairly soon. We wanted to kind of touch up on the overall series. First started coming out, I guess, back in 2007? Yes,
something
2007, like that, yeah. And discuss how the movies have kind of evolved, and not gonna lie, not really for the best.
And I'm not going to lie, I shut the second one off halfway through and haven't watched any since. So I'm not going to be too much of an expert on this topic, but I love the TV show.
You know what was great about the TV series? It focused on the Transformers. The humans were there, but they weren't exactly a focal point. Look at Beast Wars, for instance.
Yeah.
That, again,
there's no humans
there was
in that at all.
literally... The timeline, in my opinion, was a little confusing because it's supposed to be taking place after the war of Autobots and the Decepticons, but they're on Earth during...
Yeah, I wouldn't overthink it too much, to be honest.
I guess because it is a
They're
kid's
just
show.
glorified ads for toys, really.
I guess, but it was still great, you know.
Oh yeah, Beast Wars was great. Yeah, and the original series G1 was very good too.
Even with the newer shows coming out, again, it's mainly focusing on Transformers themselves. Now, going forward to 2007, the first Transformers movies came out, and I know you and me kind of disagree with it. Here's the thing. I didn't mind the movie that much. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good action movie. Mind you, it was still annoying that it focused more on Shia LaBeouf's character's
His love story with
Megan Fox. Yeah. And I just thought it was a little unnecessary. But I will say for me...
They didn't need like a masturbation joke halfway through the movie either.
Well, very, very true.
And the problem is, though, I think, in this... It started to do with like the design of the robots in the original TV show. The robots, when they were robot mode, like they looked like the cars or whatever the vehicles that they were. But in the movies, they just looked like piles of scrap metal. So it was like kind of actually hard to tell what's going on in the fight scenes. It's like which robot's which. You can't really tell where they end. Like what is that an arm? Is that a leg? Like what's going on here? They didn't look good as robots, and it's kind of hard to sort of tell what's going on in the action. It was just sort of like classic Michael Bay. Here's a whole bunch of really fast cuts and shit hitting buildings and stuff like that, and it was, I don't know.
Mind you, I guess maybe I was in high school when I first saw that. You know, I didn't really think much about that at the time, but now, I guess when you say it, I understand what you're saying. Revenge of the Fallen came out, and it's funny, I wanted so hard to like that movie.
I think that's the one where they're in the desert and stuff, right?
Where they go to Egypt.
Yeah. That's when I shut off halfway through. I just couldn't get through that movie.
It was 2.5 hours of complete chaos. It focused way too much on Sam's story.
Yeah.
I miss where we're focusing on Optimus Prime's story, Bumblebee's story.
Yeah.
Megatron's story, all these characters have more interesting stories than the actual humans do, and we're focusing all on the humans. Not to mention, half the time, a lot of the Decepticons or Autobot characters would just disappear through the movie. One character in the beginning of Revenge of the Fallen, Sideswipe, who showed up.
Oh, yeah.
He was an Autobot, and he destroyed a Decepticon, but then he disappeared. And then they brought in a new character. I can't remember his name, but he helped revive Optimus Prime near the end. And all I can think is, well, where did this character come from? It was so much again, I know we're going to go back into the whole idea of inconsistencies.
Yeah.
But the whole movie was written, I guess, as almost like a metaphor for inconsistencies. The third movie, Dark Side of the Moon, again, I kind of had high hopes.
Dark of the Moon?
In Dark of the Moon.
Yeah, it's not the Pink Floyd album.
No. It's just how many times do we have to see a city destroyed? Getting a city completely totaled by this fight, right? And all I can think is, no wonder the humans fucking hate the robots. Because their fights literally, they have no business being, why are they using Earth as their battleground, right? It was kind of, I understand, Cybertron's kind of missing or gone or destroyed or whatever.
But I feel like that's also one of the things that was sort of, maybe missed from the original TV show. In the original TV show, the Autobots are all about sort of, protecting the humans and making sure that there's minimal collateral damage. Whereas in the movies, it's just fuck it, we're just gonna destroy some buildings and whatever, it's not a big problem.
After Age of Extinction, and then The Last Night came out.
There was another one after that?
Believe it or not.
Oh my god. There was 5 in the main line? Is that what there was?
Yeah.
Fuck, I shut the second one off halfway through and didn't see any of them since that.
Well, jeez. You know what, I didn't actually get to The Last Night. I kind of gave up after the third one, but it was kind of that holding on hope that maybe they'll do better. Then Bumblebee came out.
For whatever reason, I felt I'm going to take a chance and watch this one, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done, and by this point, I think they'd start to really improve the design of the robots, and they looked more like the cars when they were in robot mode. They didn't just look like piles of scrap metal.
We also have to remember this was a prequel film. Michael Bay didn't direct it; he produced it.
That's probably also the good thing about it. That's probably one of the reasons it was better.
And it's funny too because I've seen a lot of stuff like the show Black Sails. One of my favorite shows. He produced that show, but he hasn't directed an episode, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I thought Bumblebee was really good. I think like the fact that Bumblebee was like sort of the only Transformer in it, if I remember correctly. There's
the only Autobot really.
Yeah,
like,
I guess true. I guess you see some
like in the beginning. You do see the other Autobots on Cybertron. It's like the war on Cybertron, and I do like how they looked like their forms from the original cartoon series too.
Yeah. It was really good, and I think that's sort of the fact that they did focus on one of the Transformers as the main character is what made it better than the other ones, and the fact that they only had the one Transformer and they weren't like you were saying in the other movie, so like these characters kind of come out of nowhere and sort of disappear. It's like you have the one character, Bumblebee, who's there the whole time. They're not like bringing in all these random other characters to sort of be like, oh, here's Sideswipe, oh, here's Starscream, here's whoever. It's very well done in that way. That's actually meant to be about the Transformers.
Well, and now jumping forward, I know we haven't seen it yet, but Rise of the Beasts, Transformers Rise of the Beasts.
Is that what it's
called? It's supposed to apparently be, from what I heard, is supposed to be a sequel to Bumblebee.
Oh.
So it's another prequel, but I'm a little confused because the Autobot, like Optimus Prime and the other Autobots are there. I'm like, okay, I thought they didn't come to Earth yet. They haven't shown up on Earth yet. Are they going to explain that? Are they going to...
I don't know how deep we should dig into the Transformers Cinematic Universe timeline.
Okay.
I don't know if they put much thought into it, or if it's sort of like maybe they're trying to... I don't know.
Are they kind of treating the audience like idiots, thinking, oh, they won't know what's...
Well, it's like, do you try to link all the James Bond movies together? There's no James Bond Cinematic Universe.
It is exciting to see the Beast... like
the Beast Wars characters brought in.
Show up, and
so I wonder how they're going to treat having like Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal, right? It's like sort of the two. Are they good? Like, interesting how they're going to handle that.
Yeah, like because again, like going back to Beast Wars, those characters, it's like their kind of society is taking place like years after the Autobots and Decepticons, right? Yeah. And I'm obviously expecting kind of a rivalry between Prime and Primal.
Yeah. Kind of, I can see that happening, yeah.
Type of thing.
It was cool to see in the trailer with the two of them meeting, and it's cool to see also like the fact that Optimus Prime now looks more like Optimus Prime is supposed to as a robot. Not the
jagged
garbage
pieces of metal that just came out of a garbage compactor type of thing. I'm also kind of curious too because I hear that maybe perhaps Megatron's supposed to be in it, but again, like Megatron's supposed to be frozen on ice by this point, but I'm kind of also wondering...
But there was also the Megatron and Beast Wars.
Yeah, so are we going to get a T-Rex Megatron?
Maybe.
You know what I will say, though, it was a little strange, like, so Optimus Primal, even in his beast mode, he looks robotic still, and like in anything I've really seen him in, like, again, going back to the series comic stuff like that, he actually just looks like a gorilla, and then when he transforms, it's all robotic. That's... I
guess it's a question of like, where do you sort of draw that line in terms of the look of the robots and the look of their beast modes? Because it's like, are they going to have fur? Right? Guess, it's like, and then they transform, and then they just have like weird furry panels all over them. I mean, you could do that.
But would it look good?
But
would it be kind of the same situation?
And then, how do you explain the science behind it? Like, what is this fur? Is it like a fur coat sort of thing they're wearing, or is it actual like living fur that's sort of like on flesh or something? Like, how do you? I know what you're saying. Like, it's kind of weird when he's in beast mode. He looks kind of like a robot still, but it's I like when you're doing it as a live action as compared to like the CG cartoon. I think it's much harder to sort of find a way to make that work that makes sense in the reality of the show, because the show is still like kind of set in terms of its reality in like sort of our actual reality, right? So it's like either that fur has to be like fur panels that are on them, or it's like they somehow are robots that also have flesh that's growing fur. You know what I mean? They need to do it the way that like that Bumblebee did it and the way the original show did it. Even the original show, like Spike has a relationship with the Transformers and it's kind of part of the story, whereas opposed to, like the other movies where it's like they spend too much time focusing on the human characters. I hear you. It should definitely be more about those.
When you bring in the human characters, you bring in all this stupid comedy.
Yeah.
In it. That's the problem, I thought. Was they tried too hard to make it comedic, and half the time we're seeing dogs humping each other, and like in the first
scene of dogs
like in Revenge of the Fallen, Michael Bay decided to do like 2-3 shots of their dogs like going at it with each other. I'm like, okay, why, like, there was so unnecessary. It was
Yeah.
just, mind you, there were a lot of things unnecessary about that series to begin with.
Yeah.
But
Well, here's hoping that the new one's good. Maybe I'll give it a chance as well. Don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but
no, I think
I'll wait to stream it.
personally, I think I've given up on those type of movies to see in theaters. I don't think they're exactly worth, unfortunately, seeing in theaters. Mind you, it doesn't matter what we say, they're gonna make money. They've always every movie that's come out, they've made like a killing at the box office.
Yeah,
it seems. And I don't know, maybe people have the same belief that, oh, maybe this one will be better, maybe this will be better.
I mean, you know, if you're willing to spend the money on it at the theater, it's still an entertaining movie to see in the theaters. You know, like it's a big action movie or whatever. You know, it's not like some lame movie or something.
Well, they are lame movies.
They are lame movies, but you know what I mean? No, it's like it's a popcorn film. It's sort of like turn your mind off and kind of just watch it and enjoy it. Unless you have like a 90s nostalgia for the original Transformers show, in which case you can't.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we'll have to wait for the new one and see what happens. Hopefully it's as good as Bumblebee. And they start to redeem. Is Michael Bay directing it?
No.
See, so it might be good. Might be good.
He's producing, but he won't.
Doesn't matter.
He's not directing.
Might be good. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If there's any other sort of movies or themes, topics, whatever you want us to talk about or discuss, drop a comment below. Also, please like the video and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.